There's number one very high up, within about 50 feet of the top. The exposure on a climb like this is severe. He may be exposed to the elements with drops like this for some time. The climbing surface here looks quite a bit easier than the rocks they had lower down. The exposure is probably the worst part of it. Number one very nearly at the top now. This is the time to watch out for overconfidence when the end is in sight. There's the top, and number one's made it. Now he'll belay again, spreading his rope right round a large boulder, and then take up number two's slack. Number two will then shout down to number three. It's three's turn to come up the chimney. Taking in the slack. Number three calls, "That's me," and in he goes. Now what's number three doing? Two shouting down to him. Yes, I think three probably thought he could get up on the outside of the chimney. Number two's told him he's better off inside. Three in the chimney now, wriggling his way up. And here's three out at the top, and thankful to be there, I imagine. And now it'll be two's turn to do the last bit. There's two, nearly up now, looking for handholds. Some of these cracks are a bit smooth at the top here. Just watch him. Nothing much for the fingers. Now, see that? He's using a jammed handhold. He's jammed his hand into the crack and used it instead of a finger hold. You can do the same with a foot. Jam your foot into a crack and give it a bit of a twist. Jammed footholds or jammed handholds can be very useful when there's not much else. There's number two up at the top. And now it's number three's turn. It's when you're getting up to the last stages that overconfidence can lead to bad climbing. Number three did rather a bad move just then. It was definitely a two-point move. He moved up a hand and a foot simultaneously. Now he's doing it again. He's getting very rough indeed. That's very bad climbing. I hope number two has got him securely. Now watch this. It's a perfect example of how not to... Two's held him all right. Well, number three won't have come to any harm over that. You'd only fall a foot or two. But perhaps it will have taught him a lesson. Just watch him a minute. Yes, that's better. It's only too easy to be overconfident when you get near the top, especially at the end of a long climb. There's number 3 at the top. We hope a wiser man for his experience. Now they'll be going to find a place from where they can rope down. First of all, they've got to carry out a jump to get onto the mainland proper. So we'll just watch that. Number 1, with a coil of rope in his hand, releases it as he jumps, feet together, nice collected landing. Very good. Now number 2, each man has his own bit of slack. Number 1 holding number 2, feet together, good, nice collected jump. Now number 1 goes on again. Now it'll be 3's turn to come up to the first jump. Good. Obviously the fall he had hasn't upset him. In any case, it's all part of the day's work. Under training, you may be ordered to peel off the rock on a rope for the experience. The climb that you've just watched might be classed difficult, but by no means severe. The hardest part was perhaps the exposure on the cliff face for lengthy periods. But by applying the 9 basic principles of climbing, they had no great difficulty in gaining the summit. Do you remember what those 9 principles are? First, conserve energy. Second, move rhythmically. Third, heels down. Fourth, stand upright. Fifth, watch your feet. Sixth, test each hold. Seventh, hands low. Eighth, 3-point climbing. And 9th, think first. Remember those and stick to them, and you should never get into trouble.